episode 9 of the Power Toku Show DX. I am Josh Reed, and here with me, as always, is the Minami Kotaro to my being a Bamf.
Luis, also known as SentaiSeiya.
So, how have you been this past week?
Pretty good. Busy, but good. How about you?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah. Busy with the new job?
Yeah. A little busy.
Yeah. Cool. So, we got a couple things to talk about?
Yeah, got a lot of cool things to talk about, but first, I want to show off something.
Nice.
Look at this little guy.
Renewal version, right?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, he makes me so happy. He is perfect. I love him.
Are you going to be reviewing them for the site pretty soon?
Yeah, you'll see a review up shortly.
Cool. I got to get with those renewals.
Yeah, dude, the renewals they are just so good.
Yeah. Yeah. So many good toys. We were talking earlier, HLJ's got that huge sale going on.
Yeah, if you guys have not been to HLJ.com in a few days, you should probably go check it out. They have a lot of amazing stuff on sale right now. I picked up all of the Season 2 Akiba Ranger figure arts for like $5 a piece. And that is crazy good.
Yeah, especially if you want to get those extra parts for the super weapon from second season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, really cool. I'm broke, so I only bought like one thing. It had to be good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It sucks because like the last couple of sales have been kind of weak on HLJ.
Mm-hmm.
And this time they were just like, blam, here's everything we haven't sold in like the last half a year or so.
Here's everything you've been looking at for the past year that you were wondering if we were going to put in a sale. Here's all of it at once.
Yeah, and it makes me sad. But anyways, I got enough toys to, play around with, so I'm cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's start with the news.
Yeah, even though we sort of already danced into Toy Talk, but whatever.
Yeah. That's unofficial Toy Talk. Now we jump into the official Toy Talk.
Now we get to have the bumper.
Yeah. Alright, so first up, we're going to check out the SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Gaim, Kachidoki Arms. And so this is the upgraded version of Kamen Rider Gaim, not the final form. It's like an in-between super form. But it is really sexy looking.
Yes.
I just love the Shogun armor design of it. That shiny orange. It's just really good. Of course, you have the DJ gun that also acts as a saber. Just all around sexy looking. There have been leaks of what his ultimate form looks like now up online. Have you seen them?
Yeah, it was actually in this past episode that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, they show the seed for it, but they don't show his ultimate form.
Well, in the coming up next episode, they do show him.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch the preview.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so anyways, this is an in-between form, not quite the final form. I actually prefer this one over the final form. How about you?
Oh, absolutely. The final form kind of looks stupid, but this thing looks awesome. I actually wanted this to be his final form.
Yeah, and that's what I thought too. I'm like, all right, well, they've been kind of getting ahead of themselves in the show. Maybe this is going to be the final form. But no, we get something that allows him to use all the different lock seeds, their powers, and it looks kind of dumb. Yeah.
But this just looks awesome, and I love it.
I'm going to pick it up. It's going to be a regular release for somewhere around $40, right?
Yes, it is. It is going to be 4,800 yen, so around 50.
Closer to 50, yeah. So I'm getting the 4 main riders, and this is definitely going to make it into my collection. Mm-hmm. How about you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It just looks too good for me to pass up.
Oh, yeah. I love how he uses also the 2 signs on his back as weapons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so cool looking. A regular release. Once this pops up, I imagine it's going to sell out pretty quickly. So if you want to get it, jump on that pre-order. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so sexy looking guy, and let's talk about some more figure arts, right? I think that's our next piece of news.
Check that out. Aqua Ranger from Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger. I almost said Hikonin, just because I had to keep a Ranger on the brain. But anyway,
well, this is the secret Sentai.
Okay, so that's on silent now.
Okay. So anyways, this is from Secret Sentai Go Ranger, the father of all Sentai.
Mm.
It looks great. I'm glad it's actually becoming an actual toy. We saw a
I'm
prototype, yeah.
I'm glad it's not just disappearing into the ether, like
Yeah.
so many other figure arts.
At Toy Fair, we did ask the people over at Bluefin if this was happening, and they said it is. It might only be a Japanese release, but who knows? I mean, they've been pretty good about bringing over all the Power Rangers stuff and the Super Sentai stuff, like the Jetman figures, which didn't have a U.S. presence in the American form. So maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't.
Yeah, I know, it's up in the air. I hope we see it, but even if we don't, I'm still just going to import it.
Yeah.
This is something that I have to own. Like, I can't not own this figure.
Yeah. With me, I'm not going to get all the Super Sentai toys, but I'm planning on eventually having all the Reds and just having one big display of them. So, yeah, for me, it's also a definite pickup. Is this a web exclusive or regular?
It is more than likely going to be a... Huh. Okay, so it says prices to be announced, just says September. It would make a lot of sense if it was a web exclusive, but I don't know. Maybe it has a lot of mass appeal in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Yeah, we'll see.
It's more than likely going to be the only, I guess, Go Ranger figure art that we get, because we haven't even seen prototypes of any of the others, so...
Yeah, I can't imagine them doing the full team on this one. All right, so you want to talk about more figure arts?
Yeah, let's just keep on going.
Yeah. SH Figure Arts Kamen Rider Black RX Bio Rider. And so another figure that we've seen a prototype of, and this is the actual production photos, or the production photos, yeah. So it looks great. You gonna pick this one up? I know we talked about the other one.
Yeah. I love Black RX. It is one of my all-time favorite Kamen Rider series. Series,
yeah. It's not
whatever.
Yeah, singular.
Yeah. Oh man, it is just... I love every form of Black RX, and so I already have Robo Rider pre-ordered, and so as soon as his pre-order goes up, I'm grabbing him.
Did you pre-order Robo Rider through a middleman?
No, through Bluefin.
Okay, they did it. Cool, cool. So this is probably going to be brought over by Bluefin also.
Yeah, I would highly, more than likely.
Yeah, cool. All right, so that's it for this one. Good looking. I prefer the Robo Rider over this one personally, but for those who want to complete the full Kamen Rider Black RX set, like yourself,
me.
Yeah, it's a must-have.
Yeah, dude, this thing looks fantastic. I hope we get his bike. Because I know we're getting Robo Rider's bike, but Robo Rider's bike is going to be a web exclusive, and they're probably not going to bring it to America. But hey, we can keep our fingers crossed, and maybe we will. See it at some point.
Yeah. Or there's always middlemen.
Yeah. Yokata is always a thing.
Yeah, if they don't bring it over here. So, and let's talk about something not figure arts.
Oh, man.
Are you getting moist in the pants?
I was moist in the pants like 3 hours ago. Just looking over the HLJ sale, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
A lot more moist in the pants. So, complete selection modification Kabuto Zector from Kamen Rider. I blanked out on that one. Kabuto, dude. I'm thinking about stuff. Sorry. Okay, let me do that again.
Yeah.
I said Kabuto Zector. That doesn't make sense, does it? Anyways, yeah. My dog's also barking in the background. I'm trying to ignore her. She just wants attention. All right, so next up, complete selection modification Kabuto Zector from Kamen Rider Kabuto. So, web exclusive, about $130, give or take, plus middleman fees, coming out later this year, right?
Yeah, I believe it said it was September. Yep, September 2014.
Yeah, looks good. So basically, a more detailed version of the belt from Kamen Rider Kabuto. Better painted and all that stuff. Looks like the belt around it is also nicer. You gonna pick this up?
No.
Too rich for your blood?
Yeah. I mean, I love roleplay toys as much as the next guy, but when it gets to the point where they're web exclusives and they're $130 starting out, I'm just like, I'll let someone else take care of that. So
you're gonna tap out. Yeah. So How much does the regular version of this go for right now? Do you know?
About the same.
Okay, so it's not a bad deal for those looking to get,
Hmm.
a version of this toy because it is nicer, better detailed, and all that good stuff. I picked up the Kamen Rider W complete selection modification, and that's really nice. Better details and all that stuff.
Hmm.
If you give me a second, I can show it off.
Okay. Through the magic of editing, fade in or out, whatever.
So, here you have it. Just nice looking, really good detail, nice metallic paint. I don't think the regular version had that metallic paint job, or at least a nicer one as this one does. So, really cool. My only major complaint is that the belt is actually quite small. It's got a little like extender piece at the back. Oop, let me get it in camera. Right there. So anyways, you can extend this nylon piece, and it does make it bigger. Only issue is I barely fit into it. So my waist is about like 28, 29, which is pretty small. And I always thought these were basically meant to be for adults. I imagine that a lot of people have a bigger waist than I do. So being as, size restricted as this is, I think a lot of people out there are going to have to get an extender piece just to wear it.
Yep, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because while they are meant for adults, they are meant for, Japanese adults,
Yeah.
which on average are slightly smaller than the average American Kamen Rider fan.
Yeah, so definitely look to modify that if you're going to buy one of these. And so, yeah, the nylon piece, it doesn't have a piece to cover over it, so that does look a little kind of bad. I mean, these test photos look really good, but that's when you have the actual plastic going over the nylon piece on the belt. Sexy box, looks really cool. So, as I mentioned, Kamen Rider Kabuto is not my favorite, so I'm going to pass this one over.
Like, if I were to get it, it would just be, it wouldn't be something that I would necessarily try to put on and run around in.
Yeah.
It would probably just be something I put on a shelf to look at.
Yeah. I mean, they're really good looking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I hope they do more, though, because there's other ones that I wouldn't mind picking up.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see, complete selection of pretty much all of the Kamen Rider belts and drivers and whatever else they decide to call them.
Yeah. All right. So, sexy looking piece, and not a bad choice if you're in the market for one of these guys, rather than paying aftermarket prices for the regular release that came out years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I think that's it for news.
Yes, it is. Let's run right on into reviews.
All right.
Okay, guys, so this is a really doofy looking little robot from a show called Robocon. And this is the titular Robocon.
Yeah. So this is a Toku that ran in the 70s, over 100 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Robocon basically lived with humans, and, he would kind of fumble his way through life, but he always ended up doing what was right. So it's one of those shows, teaching kids morals and that kind of thing. From the description, it kind of reminds me of Doraemon, where there's mischief happening, and then, the robot at the end learns what they're supposed to do, what the right thing to do is. So toy looks great. Josh, this is a review by Josh B., our fearless leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he said it comes in a huge box, but you get a little figure. I mean, there it is, comparing that with the Glyos figure.
The standard thing that CDX guys compare size to.
Yeah, those of them that own the Glyos figure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have one. Anyways, so great looking. Looks a lot like it does in the show. They made it basically a representation of what the guy in the suit would look like, rather than an idealized version of the suit, in toy form.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it looks like a cheap little costume that you would see in a 70s TV show, and that's why it's awesome.
Yeah, but the whole thing is metal, and that is awesome.
Yeah. It's an EX Goken, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so great. I mean, he really had no complaints with it, just great articulation, super expressive. There's a comparison with one of the other toy versions. You can see the other one is just meant to look like a toy and not like the suit actor in the suit. So great looking, goofy, just a great review. I wish I had seen this show. I really don't have that much of a point of reference as to what Robocon does besides what I've read.
Yeah, I have sadly never actually sat down to watch the show, but it's definitely something I'm planning on watching in the near future because it is a very early tokusatsu show.
Is this available in English, like subbed by anybody?
I'm actually not sure.
Mm. If not, you're gonna have to just sit there and watch the raw files.
I'm just gonna sit there and be super confused the whole time.
Yeah. Though if it's a kid show, I can't imagine the story is gonna be too complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of trouble is Robocon getting into this episode, and that kind of a thing. So, great looking. If you want to scroll down to the end, it's got a ton of just eyes.
Yeah.
Super expressive, different chest plates.
So much detail put into this little guy.
Yeah. You can also transform into the cart form. And his like bike form or something like that.
It's his car form, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I actually want to see the episode where he does that. That's got to be pretty goofy looking, seeing a guy rolling around in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a 70s TV show. So, some more cool photos. He can fly. He's got a little propeller in the back.
Oh, dude. This thing is awesome.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a show that I was forced to watch as a kid called Colby. I'm not sure if you remember this. It was basically another robot suit guy, but it was from like this like Christian station. Like my aunt used to force me to watch it all the time. And so whenever I see this, I think of Colby because that is one of the worst things from my childhood that I can remember. And I'm just thinking the people who made that show probably based it off of Robocon.
Yeah. Now I have to look it up, see what he looks like.
But terribly.
So, a lot of eyes. So you get all kinds of goofy poses and that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm still looking at pictures of this guy.
Yeah. It was pretty cool that Josh basically explained the eyes with different internet memes. That was pretty cool of him.
Yeah. Yeah, all glory to the Hypno-Toad.
Yeah.
What is this? I don't even...
Yeah. Is this real life?
I think that's pretty much all you can really do with a high-end Goken release with someone like this. You know, someone who's not going to be, you know, fighting super crime and shooting guns and lasers all over the place. They're just like, give him, like, 20 different eyes.
Mm-hmm. It kind of reminds me of what they did with the Doraemon, also with the different expressive eyes and that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a character from people's childhood that they remember doing different things, you know, being very expressive, so these toys give them the means of doing that in toy form.
Yep.
All right. So, I think that's it for this guy.
Yeah. Let's move on over to something else that moves less.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so this is the DX Diesel Resha. It's part 3 of my Diesel Resha reviews. I split up the trains into each individual review, just because you can buy them individually, and it made it easier for me to write the reviews.
Yeah.
So basically the Diesel Resha, 20-inch long train. It's a diesel locomotive. Really cool looking. It's got a maroon color. One downside of it being 20 inches long is that the connector pieces at the center are not strong enough. So if you lift it up with one hand, one of the pieces is going to fall off. So you have to lift it up with two hands if you want to play with it that way.
So, I mean, you know, if you want to throw it like a spear or, you know, hold it like a sword or something, you're going to have a bad time, I guess.
Yeah, you'd have to duct tape it or something. So, great looking. This is the oldest train in the Tokuger's arsenal. It almost went out of function until Red basically brought it back because he's got so much imagination in him. He's just bursting with it. So he brings it back, and then that allows them to basically form the Diesel O. Again, a very simple transformation. You kind of slap the two halves together, bring the arms down, fold out the feet, put the head on there, you call it a day.
Cool.
So, I mean, basically I said it's a very simple robot. Retro looking, very flat, but I like it. I mean, it just looks cool. It's a throwback robot, like a lot of the robots in this series.
Yeah, they're very chunky.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a whole lot to them, but that kind of makes them more charming, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, very cool. I mean, all the wheels are on the back, so if you want, you can use it as a transportation robot. There I have Agito just kind of riding on him for no reason.
Well, it's almost like the Machine Tornado. Whenever,
oh, yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
flattens out.
yeah. So, articulation limited. You can move the arms a bit.
Well, of course, that it's a DX Sentai release. That's what we have come to expect.
Yeah. And so then we can also form the Cho Tokyo O by slapping the Tokyo O and the Diesel O together to get this big monstrosity of colored bricks. Yeah, so I'm in the mindset that I really don't like this combination.
You are not alone.
Yeah, a lot of people have been hating on it. Part of it has to do with the fact that the proportions aren't very good. Some of these pieces do magically shrink in the show, so it looks a lot more human, human-shaped than the toys. Otherwise, it's just a big stack of trains. It can interact. The Diesel can interact with the Tokyo Changer, as every other train can. So, I mean, I basically said that the Cho Tokyo just treated the trains like Legos. You just stack them next to each other. But ironically, the part swapping part, not fart.
Part swapping farts.
The part swapping part, yeah.
That's the title of this episode. Part swapping farts.
The part swapping part. You can exchange trains and stuff. It's actually pretty cool. I had some fun once I finished the actual, serious review. Just, throwing different pieces together. So that was cool, and it uses imagination, which is the whole theme of the show. So
I believe this picture here is called Monkey O.
Yeah.
Or Gorillo.
It's like half an octopus O. It's got 4 feet. And you can also extend the fun you have with your Tokyo O if you so choose.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Oh man, this is the best.
So, to summarize my experience with the past 3 trains, the car carrier, the tank Russia, and the Diesel O, basically, I like the trains, I like the transformations in the Diesel O, but not necessarily the Cho Tokyo O. But it's fun messing around with them afterwards, so it's cool if you don't take the Cho Tokyo O too seriously. Yeah, and that's my piece on this, and we can look at...
And that's his piece!
All right.
I just don't want to leave this image. I just want it to stay there the entire time that we're talking about everything.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Gaim and all the crazy stuff that happened and look at, Rainbow Dong over here.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
All right. So, well, perhaps we should look at something else.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on to shows.
Let's make it a smooth transition and go to Tokuger first,
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so first up we're going to talk about Tokuja episode 13. And so basically this episode, they've been using the Cho Tokyo, that horrible combination we were just talking about, a little bit too much, and it puts too much stress on the trains. So they have to find another train. It turns out to be the shape of fire extinguisher. Everybody keeps calling it the fire extinguisher Russia. And then, of course, Ticket, the little puppet, keeps reminding us that that's not what it's called. So lucky for them that they have a fire extinguisher train, because they fight a monster that's basically a big magnifying glass, and he's going to set the town on fire using the power of the sun. We have some more crazy stuff happening between Grida and Zet.
Ew.
So let's not talk about... Oh, and him.
And Schwartz and Grida, and I'm just like, oh no, you're just making it worse and worse.
Did I not say there was going to be a love triangle at some point?
You said that last week.
I was kidding, and it totally happened. So Schwartz basically is telling Grida, just give me a minute, let some stuff happen, I'm going to return your feelings, and... yeah. So, we also have a moment between Red and Yellow. You see them in the past. You see that Red becomes very focused on one thing, and Yellow's kind of there to see the big picture and help him out, keep him moving along. So that's really cool. They have a touching moment. Pink's there for some reason.
Yeah, she's there to just be, yay, happy all the time, and hang from buildings.
Yeah.
During that one part.
Yeah. I still can't get to liking Pink. She's just such a flat character.
You see, I still really love Pink. I love Yellow. I love Blue. I love Red. I just have zero feelings for Green.
Yeah.
Just like I remember all of their names. You've got Mio, Tokati, Kagura, Wright, and then the green guy.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with pink and green. I couldn't care about them. They could not be in the show, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So going back to the extinguisher Resha, it is the fire Resha, and the cool thing about it is it can shoot water and it can shoot fire. So it is aptly named. It is supposed to be a fire Resha.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those episodes where they introduce the new train, use it against the new villain. Really, nothing super deep about this episode.
I mean, that's been pretty much the going thing.
Yeah.
This entire series. It's just been good fun. And I think they did that on purpose because Gaim is nothing but story and darkness, so they wanted something really lighthearted.
Yeah.
To, like, I guess, get the edge off.
Yeah. All right, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Yellow and red kind of a thing going on, like a friendship, maybe like a possible love interest going on. Who
maybe.
knows? Yeah. They could just be friends, though.
Yeah, I see most of these guys just being friends the whole time.
Except for Greta and Schwartz.
No.
Yeah.
I'm sick of that love triangle, and it's only just begun, like the past episode.
We still got like 30 more episodes to go, buddy.
No. They just need to kill everyone, and all of those villains, or they just need to like say like, you know what? Greta looks just like a baby. I don't think I like her anymore. And then they just, like, throw her in a ditch somewhere.
You know, it wouldn't be so bad if she grew up. Kind of like in Jetman, where you have Tron and he grows up.
Yeah.
That would be totally cool. You know, if he grows up to be, you know, a normal-looking human or adult monster, totally cool.
Yeah.
Would not be an issue, but instead they show us big baby monster love triangle.
Big baby monster still wearing a diaper.
Yeah.
And two fully grown men are like, "Oh, I love you. These feelings."
All right, I think I'm done talking about this.
I'm done with Toku, Drew.
We're never talking about this show ever again.
Yes. Until next week.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about Kamen Rider Gaim, episode 30 and 31.
Okay, so if you remember, we did not talk about last week's episode because Lewis was a jerk and didn't watch it.
It's busy.
Oh, excuses. I mean, I just like making fun of you because it's usually me who hasn't watched the things.
Yeah.
But anyway, there wasn't really a whole lot that happened in 30 that was, you know, really story-oriented. They pretty much paused the story just to have a one-off episode featuring Kikaider.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, everybody, go watch Kikaider in theaters.
I was like, this movie just came out, guys. You need to go watch it so it doesn't, you know, tank like the Gavin movie did.
They were a little bit more heavy-handed than usual, too.
Mm-hmm.
In the story, they were going to go see a movie together, you know, Gaim, his sister, and Kikaider.
Yeah.
And the movie was called Reboot, featuring Pinocchio. I don't know, it was really, really heavy-handed.
It was, you know, Pinocchio being, you know, a little wooden thing that wants to be a real boy. And I'm just like, oh, Kikaider.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was good, though, to, you know, relax for an episode, not have to think about too much. Because the next episode gives us quite a bit to think about.
Yeah.
Episode 31. So, in this episode, you find out that the White Overlord basically has the forbidden fruit. He's a jerk, and he's been keeping it for himself. He's basically willing to sacrifice all of humanity to save one person, somebody that he loved in the past, somebody in that coffin thing. My guess is Blonde Mai. How about you? That's where I thought the story was going.
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know now. Like, I didn't even think about that.
Because they show the Overlord and the silhouette of a human-looking female character with him at one point, and it could be Blonde Mai or it could just be somebody else.
I was thinking that might just be like a female humanoid monster Overlord thing that died.
Yeah.
And he wants to use the forbidden fruit to bring her back, but it could possibly be Blonde Mai.
I mean, we have DJ Sagara, who could possibly be part of that ancient civilization, and he has a human form.
Yeah, I think Sagara might be an Overlord.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder if he's going to be like the Orange Overlord.
That would be awesome.
It would make sense, since there's been, like, you know, different colors, you know, kind of fitting the personalities of the writers for them to be an orange that believes in humanity like Gaim does.
Huh. And it would make sense that, whenever he made fruit stuff, he made up a giant orange super form.
Yeah. So maybe he was the overlord that still believed in his race and the possibility of them surviving. Also, we have Kaito jumping in and helping out Gaim a couple of times. So they're totally friends, dude. At this point, they're totally friends.
They're totally secret best friends now.
Yeah. BFFs. Kaito won't admit to it.
And a lot of the times whenever he helps Gaim is unconscious.
Yeah.
So that's something that I've noticed.
Yeah. So we had that going on. They're trying to fight the Red Overlord on Earth, Kaito basically, he shows his true colors now. Or at least we think, He's kind of flip-flopped a bit. He's always been obsessed with power, but he wants to gain power in order to defeat those stronger than him. Mm-hmm. So it shows that he wants to protect humanity.
Plus, I think he's seen that kind of mindset that he had towards the beginning. That's what the Overlord's mindset is, and their entire, civilization was destroyed. So I think he's kind of having a change of heart.
Mm-hmm. And I think it also harkens back to when he was a little kid. His dad's company was shut down by a bigger power, and his family suffered because of it. And now he kind of wants to stop that from happening again. So yeah, it's cool to see him, come around, be a good guy. I mean, he was a cool character. We have Michi being Michi.
Yeah, Michi is just a douche.
Yeah. So he outsmarts the Green Overlord, though. He realizes that he's setting him up for a trap. Him and Sid. And then, of course, Sid being that greedy guy that, wants to get the fruit, so he is no longer the servant, tries to fight the White Overlord and gets crushed by 2 giant pillars.
He's dead.
Yeah. So if you haven't watched the episode yet...
Oh, yeah, spoilers! Sid just died.
Yeah. So, I mean, this show is getting pretty dark, pretty gruesome.
Dude, see, a lot of times whenever they kill characters, they're it's in an explosion, they're in their suits, and then they're just not there anymore, or they've become a monster or something. Sid was out of his suit, and he was crushed by giant, boulders.
They softened the scene by not actually showing it, but you know what happened.
Yeah, like you can see them moving in, and then it moves up, and you just see the things just...
Yeah, so... some more good story development. Sid's dead. I didn't care for him, so...
I loved Sid.
Did you?
I've loved him since the beginning. So it's sad to see him die, but, I mean, it was a pretty awesome arc.
Yeah. And he also realizes that, what's his name, Takatora is alive, but he can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Because he's dead.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to talk when you're dead.
Yeah.
Unless you're Blonde Mai, and apparently if she's the dead person, then she's been talking the whole time, so who knows?
Yeah, so that's where that left off. Good couple episodes. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this. You?
Yeah, I mean, Gaim is continuing to be awesome.
Kicking ass and taking names.
So at this point, it's probably going to be one of my all-time favorite Kamen Rider shows.
Yeah. I'm going to have to, sit down and just spend a whole weekend and think about whether I like this or Agito better.
Ooh, that is a tough one because Agito is my current, top.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see about that.
Same here. I'm gonna have to just clear a whole weekend, just cancel all appointments and everything.
We're just gonna have to sit there and think.
Yeah. Do a retreat out into the forest or something. We're just gonna meditate like monks and think it over. All right. So, shall we talk about auto recommendation now?
Yeah.
Are we all gimed out?
I think we are all gimed out. Okay, guys, so for our recommendation this week, we're going to kind of do double duty and use it to not only recommend this film, but also talk about it, because we didn't get to last week.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla 2014, the one that just came out a couple of weeks ago.
The one that's making quite a bit of money in the box offices.
Yeah.
It's had the highest grossing opening in May, and I think for the year so far, so people are loving them some Godzilla.
Yeah, well, at least a lot of people are going and seeing it. I have some issues which we are going to talk about, but
okay. Oh, cool, because I have issues with the movie too.
Good.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't want to be the only one bashing the movie a bit.
yeah. We haven't talked about this, off the air or anything. So this is going to be us, talking, between us for the first time. So this is going to be fun.
Okay.
Oh, and just to mention, we're probably going to spout out spoilers. I'll try not to.
Okay.
But it might happen accidentally. Like, we're going to steer clear of, like, deaths or, anything that might be spoilerific, something like that. So
yeah, won't talk about Godzilla's attacks because I think you have to experience those. So
yeah, we're not going to talk about specifics and stuff like that.
Needless to say, Godzilla kicks ass. So
oh yeah, Godzilla is awesome in this movie.
Yeah, so basically in this movie, Godzilla is an alpha predator. He's been around forever, just kicking ass. But he hasn't really had a need to kick ass in recent times. So he's basically born from a time where there was more radiation on Earth, and he was hiding on the bottom of the ocean because there's more radiation there. Earth faces a new threat. Some people have seen there's those big Muto things. I think those are safe to talk about because we've seen the toys and whatnot.
Well, yeah, we've also seen them in the trailers.
Yeah. So basically, the human story is that Bryan Cranston's character is trying to find out what's going on. He's definitely he knows that there's a conspiracy going on to hide what's going on in the reactor that he worked at in Japan.
And that's pretty much all we can say about that, because if we say anything else, we're going to be spoiling stuff.
Yeah. Needless to say, Bryan Cranston just freaking killed it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the whole movie. The story does shift focus to his son. That's one of the points of contention I have with the movie.
Needs way more Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I don't know. It was just not enough of him. I've loved him for a long time as an actor. He's just been really good. Mm-hmm. He's come a long way from being in Malcolm in the Middle.
He's come a long way from being a Power Ranger voiceover villain guy.
Yeah, and also in Macross Plus, he was what's his face? Isamu Dyson. So, I mean, yeah, he's just got such great acting abilities that when you shift from a seasoned veteran to this guy, he does an okay job. I mean, he's serviceable, but I don't know. See, I think we haven't seen a Godzilla movie in 10 years, and we just talked about the first Godzilla, which has just a great human element to it, and you have great characters that you can relate to. Dr. Serizawa, and people that are really going through this tough time. And then you have Bryan Cranston's character who you can really relate to. He just sells you on being in this situation, and you really want to see him be part of the whole story and the whole process, and then he's not.
Yeah, you feel a bit shortchanged.
Yeah. So there was that. Also, the movie could have used more Godzilla.
Yeah. I understand that you do need to have a human element to Godzilla, but there were instances where monsters would start to fight, and as soon as they were about to land a punch or a claw or something, it would immediately cut to human stuff.
Yeah.
And that was one of the problems that I had. I was just like, guys, at this point, we already know that the monsters are there. It made a lot of sense in the original Godzilla. You don't see Godzilla for a good bit, and then it shifts focus from Godzilla to Dr. Serizawa and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I understood why they wanted to have a human element to this movie to harken back to that, but when Godzilla comes out and starts destroying stuff, I don't want the action to cut away. I want to continue to see Godzilla destroying and wrecking things.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, Bryan Cranston is the big human element in the story, and he's not in it. He probably could have carried the story better when they cut away from the fight scenes, but when you see two monsters about to throw down, that little kid in you just freaking jumps up and goes, hell yeah, and then they take that away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens so many times.
Yeah, you do see the cool fight at the end, but...
Yeah, honestly, when it comes to fights, you get one really awesome fight at the end.
Yeah. I would have liked to see at least one other good fight, even if it didn't, end in anything. Just maybe the monsters exchanging a couple punches or a couple blows and then just calling it a day. I know the director for this movie is a big fan of Spielberg, and so he subscribed to Spielberg's, the way he presents monsters sometimes, like in Jaws. You don't see the shark till the end of the movie. The thing is with Jaws, I didn't leave the movie feeling like I needed to see more of the shark.
Yeah, The thing about like stuff like Jaws, they have the human element, but the human element is so interesting and so, I guess, tantalizing that you want to see more. And then, you know, the shark comes in, you're like, oh, something cool, something is happening. I already care about these characters, and then now something's happening to them, and so it makes it better. Same way with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
You know, every time they cut to Sam Neill running around doing things, you know, I didn't feel, you know, shortchanged. I didn't immediately want to just see the T-Rex running around for 2 hours because the characters running around in the park were still really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where this movie faltered a bit for me, because the human characters were not interesting besides Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. So I almost think they shouldn't even put Bryan Cranston in the movie. It might have made the movie a little bit better if they didn't set you up so high with such a great actor at the beginning.
Because he just raises the bar, like, so hard, and, like, no one else in the movie is able to act, like...
Oh, no.
To his caliber.
I didn't care about any of the other human characters, really.
Well, no, Ken Watanabe's character.
He was cool, but, I mean, he wasn't anywhere near what Dr. Serizawa was in the original.
I mean, his whole point was... And that was his, you know, role throughout the entire movie, was just to stand there going...
Yeah. He's an alpha predator. Let him fight.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Dr. Serizawa, what are you a doctor of exactly?
Yeah.
So, have you seen this director's previous movie? I'm trying to... Gareth
Monsters.
Edwards. Yeah, Monsters. Did you see that movie?
I think I did several years ago.
Yeah.
About the people, like, traveling through, like, the rainforest.
Yeah, through Mexico. I mean, there's like an alien invasion or whatever. I thought he did a better job with the human characters than that. Again, he doesn't show the aliens throughout much of the movie, but he carried the movie better in that one, where you actually care about them making it through. Mm-hmm. And he didn't make the mistake of putting Bryan Cranston in that.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes. So, I mean, it's great. People are mostly loving the movie. I think he already got an offer to do Star Wars, right?
Yeah, I think he is. He got an offer to direct one of the Star Wars spin-offs.
Yeah.
What I want everyone to go see this movie. I mean, I really did love the movie. You know, I went out, I did have some problems with it, but, you know, my final review is that it's still a Godzilla movie. I still had so much fun watching it.
Yeah, overall, it was enjoyable. I think it's something that, you know, Toho might not have been able to do in this, you know, caliber with, you know, the Hollywood setting, the director and all that stuff.
The movie was gorgeous.
Yeah.
All the special effects were fantastic. All the monsters looked phenomenal. They were great.
I remember looking at this movie and I'm like, really? This was cheaper to produce than Pacific Rim?
Yeah.
I mean, but it was like 30 million cheaper. Just, you know, it was greatly done. Obviously a sequel's coming. I hope they learn a bit from the mistakes they made in this one.
I think they did, because I believe the director was saying that they did have a lot of human elements in this one because they wanted to introduce the world to the monsters. And so now that the world knows that the monsters exist, they can have full-on monster battles going forward. So
it's going to be like the second Godzilla movie, Godzilla Raids Again, where it's just going to be like, hey, let's find a way to get these two to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
I heard some rumors saying that we might actually have Monster Island in the second one.
Okay, that's cool. So, great movie. Go out to see it if you already haven't. Yeah, I think that's my piece.
Yeah, it was good. Go see it.
All right. So, that's it for the show. All right. So, this is Power Toku Show DX. Luis, otherwise known as SentaiSeiya. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on CollectionDX. That's pretty much it, really, for now.
Yeah.
Here? Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm Josh. Jmann on the site. JmanDX on Twitter. If you guys want, feel free to drop us some feedback either in the comments section below or at powertoku@collectiondx.com. We do read all of our emails. We read all the comments, and we try to respond when we can. Mm-hmm. And we try to take all of your feedback and incorporate it in some way.
Yeah. I think last show somebody mentioned we're getting a little predictable. We'll shake it up, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll shake it up.
Yeah, we'll think of some new things. the swimsuit episode's coming up, right? Me and you are doing swims.
Yep, the swimsuit episode is in fact coming up. We're also seeing who can do the biggest, have the biggest Toku erection. We're painting all of our drunks like rainbows. So that'll be there'll be a poll that the viewers will be able to go in and vote on.
Yeah. And that's when our account's going to get banned on YouTube, I think, too.
Yeah.
So we probably won't do that, but we'll definitely do some different things. There's going to be a week where there's going to be no Kamen Rider and no Super Sentai, I think, because of golf. That's coming up pretty soon. So if we don't take a week off, I think we can do something special for that one.
Yeah, there's some things that I got going in my head that, we'll definitely keep you guys posted.
We still need to take them through a journey through the decade, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's one of the things that I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah. So, all right. I think that's been it for the show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you around.
See you guys.